Hello students, today we are going to consider lens maker's formula. Actually, this is an expression which relates focal length of a lens with the radii of curvature of both faces and its refractive index with respect to the refractive index of the medium. First of all, we are considering the ray diagram for driving this expression. This is a convex lens and it is its principal axis. C1 is the center of curvature of this first face, surface 1, and C2 is the center of curvature of its second surface, surface 2. Suppose this is a point object which is placed on the principal axis of this lens. We are considering two light rays going from this object. Suppose first light ray is going along the principal axis, and usually, as we know, it incident on the lens normally, so it goes through it without any refraction, without any bending. We are considering this light ray when this incident at this surface, because of change of the speed of light or change in the medium, it should refract. So first of all, we need a normal at this point. Suppose this is a normal which is drawn from C1, center of curvature of first face. So when it is going from rarer medium to denser medium, so it bends towards the normal, and it bends along this light ray, and it would reach to the I1 if second surface would absent here. So we can consider this point as the image made by surface 1, but due to second surface, when this light ray reaches to this boundary, it again bends, but this time the conditions are reversed. Light ray is going from denser medium to rarer medium, so it bends away from normal and reaches to this point, and finally we obtain an image here. So here we are seeing that there are two images. When this condition occurs that multiple surfaces are present, then we consider the image made by first surface as the virtual object for the second surface, as we will consider in many numerical examples in which we will consider a combination of lenses. So this is the final image, and this intermediate image is made by first surface. This is angle of incidence on surface on I1. This is angle R1, angle of refraction at first surface. This is the angle of incidence at the second surface, and this is the angle of refraction at the second surface. This point is the midpoint of the lens. It is denoted by P1. This is the midpoint of this surface. It is denoted by P2. And this is optical center of the lens. It is denoted by capital P only, without any letter, without any number. Now we are at the assumptions. Assumptions are same as previously we consider in the refraction at the spherical surface. Students, I have a suggestion to you that you should consider that video which was made for the refraction at the spherical surface, because that consideration, that derivation will be used here by us. So here the assumptions, these assumptions are same as previously. Radius of curvature is very large, aperture is very small. Which is small and large, these should be in comparison to each other. Means we can say aperture is very small in comparison to its radius of curvature. So what should be the outcomes of these two assumptions? These are: lens is very thin. If radius of curvature becomes very large and the aperture is very small, there's obviously the lens becomes very thin. MP1 and MP2 are straight lines. If the radius of curvature is very large, then its curve decreases, so M1P1 becomes perpendicular and M2P2 also become perpendicular to the principal axis, and last P1 and P2 are very close. Students, if we are saying that the lens is very thin, then we can conclude that P1 and P2 are very close to each other. So we are going to start the mathematical analysis for first surface. For this surface, we have derived in last derivation that n1 upon object distance plus n2 upon image distance equal to n2 minus upon radius of curvature. OP1, it is the distance from center of surface to the object. P1 I1 it is the distance of image from the midpoint P1, and P1C1 is the radius of curvature of this surface. Similarly, for the second surface, we can derive an expression. You should memorize this equation, otherwise you have to do a large calculation. N1 upon P2I minus N2 upon P2I1 equal to N2 minus N1 upon P2C2, means radius of curvature. P2I is the image distance, so N1 upon image distance minus N2 upon P2I. Students, for this surface we should interchange N1 and N2, and because object is placed right side, so we should apply an additional negative sign with it, as it is here minus N2 upon P2I1, N1 upon P2I equal to N2 minus N1 upon P2C2. Now adding these two equations, N1 upon OP1 plus N2 upon P1I1 plus N1 upon P2I minus N2 upon P2I1 equal to N2 minus N1 can be taken as common, 1 upon P1C1 plus 1 upon P2C2, it should be in bracket. Now according to this assumption that length is very thin and P1 and P2 are very close, so we can see that P1I1 and P2I1 should be very close to each other, means approximately equal to each other. P1I1, P2I1, these both distances due to very thin lengths should be approximately equal to each other. Now these two terms may be cancel out, P2I1 and P1I1, because one is positive, other is negative. So these two terms remaining, N1 upon OP1, N1 upon P2I1, these two are cancel out. So N1 upon OP1 plus N1 upon P2I equal to N2 minus N1 into 1 upon P1C1 plus 1 upon P2C2. If we are taking common N1, then it comes outside the bracket. Now we can write 1 upon OP1 plus 1 upon P2I is equal to, I am dividing by N1 in this equation, so it becomes N2 upon N1 minus 1 upon P1C1 plus 1 upon P2C2. Now putting the values, OP1, it is the object distance and it is at left side, OP1. So it should be equal to minus U. P2I, it should be equal to plus V. It is the image distance. P2I, it is approximately equal to the image distance. And N2 upon N1 we know very well, and it can be written N21. P1C1 equal to R1 and P2C equal to minus R2. P1C1, it is towards right side, so it should be taken as positive, means along the incident light ray it is going to measure, and P2C2, it is measured against the direction of incident light ray, so it should be negative. So here we can take an important point into consideration, that for the convex lens P1C1 is means the radius of curvature of first surface is positive, but for the concave lens it is negative for the first surface, and it is positive for the second surface. For the first surface radius of curvature is negative, second surface it should be positive for the concave lens. So P2C2 equal to minus R2. By putting these values in this equation, we can see it is equal to, it becomes minus 1 upon U plus 1 upon V equal to N2 minus N1 into 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. It is equation number 3. We can apply a condition here. If U tends to infinity, means if object is placed at infinity, then we know the fact that the image is obtained at the focus, V tends to F. So by applying these two things in this equation, we obtain 1 upon F equal to N21 minus 1 into 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. This expression is known as Lensmaker's formula. Now for deduction of the lens equation, student, the derivation is and here, but sometimes the question comes, derive the Lensmaker's formula and hence deduce lens equation using the same mathematical analysis. So for lens equation we can equate these two equations, equation number 3 and equation number 4. For a deduction of lens equation we can equate equation 3 and 4, and it becomes 1 upon F equal to minus 1 upon U plus 1 upon V. So 1 upon F equal to 1 upon V minus 1 upon U. That's it, bacho. All the best.